Welcome to the Culture Coach Podcast with me, Nikki Lerner. I'm here to help you build the skill set of multicultural leadership and find your confidence again and your voice again in an ever-changing multicultural world and workplace. Ready to up-level your skill set? Get certified in multicultural work at the Culture Coaching Lab. Add to your resume and lead with confidence as you get your certification in multicultural leadership and cultural advising. Go there now, culturecoachinglab.com. Come on, let's get into it today. This is your multicultural pro tip based on the podcast, How to Navigate Grace and Accountability. We are taking little pieces of the performance tools that I gave you in that first podcast. We're breaking them down just so that we can go the next layer deep on what you can do this week or this month personally or with your team in order to start to put these things into practice. When a cultural mistake happens, be specific about the ask and about how the closure will happen. This is all about accountability. This is about the accountability part of this. And there are two sides to this. Now, there is the side of the person that made the mistake. As a leader, you want to make sure that you address it. And as a leader, you want to make sure that you communicate about what's going to happen afterwards. And you want to communicate about what is the behavior that you prefer instead. This is very, very important because, some leaders think that, if they just rush through the process, they rush through the closure, and then everybody just forgets about it. And what I'm telling you is that doesn't happen. And if you've ever been on a staff or worked for somebody or worked anywhere at all, even if you just volunteered somewhere at a nonprofit, you know that the people that are there are talking about it. And so, as a leader, you want to make sure that you address these things and that your people know that your head is not stuck in the sand. Communicate about what is the behavior that you want instead. What is the commitment to working together that you want instead for your people? Because it's really important not only to acknowledge it, but then to say, we don't want that, we want this instead, whatever, quote, this is. Make sure that you're specific about that. Also, be specific with the person who had the impact about what is going to happen. Make sure that you close the loop. Oftentimes as leaders, this is something that we miss. We are working on stuff or we're thinking about things for a minute and then, we tell people we're going to address stuff and then we don't, or we address it and then we don't come back to them and close the loop. Make sure that you are coming back, close the loop with that person, the person that was impacted. Now, there's also agency or personal power with the person who was negatively impacted by the mistake. Now, you have a responsibility too, by the way. You are not a victim in this only. You have personal responsibility, and the more that you can take your own agency and the more personal responsibility, the better you will feel, even if you can't control the situation or the outcome. And so here's what I want you to do. If you are the one that was negatively impacted, when you go speak to your leaders, when you go speak to your supervisor, when you go speak to whoever you need to speak to, is that you are clear about the ask that you are making. And I want to challenge you here to think through, what is it that you want? What kind of accountability are you asking for? Now, here's the thing. That doesn't guarantee that you're going to get what you want. I mean, let's be real. Some of you are like, I tried that, we did that, and it didn't work. Well, you control what you can control. You can't control someone else taking accountability, right? But what you can do is you can make sure that before you go and talk to your leaders or before you go and talk to HR or whatever it is, that you are clear on what it is you are asking to be done or to be said to you after there's been a negative cultural impact on you. particularly if you are going to choose to continue to work there. It's so important for those of you in minority cultures to make sure that you are taking up your own agency in this. This is so important. And I know for some of you, you have been working at a place for years and years and years, and things keep happening, and you're like, I'm tired. I can't ask again. I want to challenge you to ask again. Not even so much for the company that you work for, but for yourself. For yourself. Make sure that you are telling yourself through your actions that how you were negatively impacted about something actually matters. Because so often we can say, when these things happen, that like, oh, we'll just brush it off, or oh, I got work to do, or oh, it doesn't matter. It does matter. And you need to be the first person to tell you that it matters. So be specific. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the Culture Coach podcast and listen to the podcast called How to Navigate Grace and Accountability. And you can find that wherever you love to get podcasts. You can also find that at nikkilerner.com/coaching. See you soon. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to engage with us today. Remember, you don't have to do this alone. We got you. Take 60 seconds. Go to culturecoachinglab.com. You can go grab your first free mini course, and you can sign up today for our email newsletter. Looking forward to hanging out with you more. We'll see you next week.